It's August 2022 and the tech industry is changing. Actually, the tech bubble is bursting and getting a job right now is a little bit choppy. If you are in college or earlier in your career, you probably are having a harder time on the job search or just not really sure where to take your career in the tech industry. And maybe you are thinking about cybersecurity. Is it a good job field to go into and a good industry to pursue in the future? Well, my name is April. I'm a tech recruiter and I'm going to talk about the cybersecurity industry and what I think is in future for the industry. I actually have a layoff video that I do that talks about layoffs, and part of the reasons that I decided to make this video is a lot of people ask me about cybersecurity and if it's a good place to get a job. Now, a background on the industry. Cybersecurity is a new problem, right? The internet hasn't been around forever. Even as computers were invented, cyberware and spyware, hacking problems have become a bigger and bigger problem. You heard in the news last year that even giant corporations were being hacked and held hostage by these foreign entities doing the hacking. So yeah, cybersecurity has become a big deal for a lot of companies. Some companies have opened up cybersecurity departments entirely or focus their service, either a product, platform, a software, purely on cybersecurity. So it seems like the industry is growing. Well, that's because the problem is also growing. So how do you become a cyber engineer? Well, cybersecurity engineer. Well, most people that work in cybersecurity have a background in networking or hardware. You just have a better understanding of where there is potential for hacking when it comes to communication going across various devices or platforms. I am not a software engineer myself, but most of the cybersecurity engineers I see have a networking background. Of course, you can have a software background. Anyone can get in the industry if they get a job at a cybersecurity company or they focus on something particular. Now, in the past, most of the cybersecurity was focused with government companies or HIPAA compliance companies. Managing the software database for a HIPAA compliant company means that you have HIPAA restrictions as a software engineer, database developer. Anyone working on the tech side of that, you have these restrictions that you have to know and implement, which often creates its own unique job title that requires skills and experience. But now, moving forward, the industry is expecting a lot more cybersecurity industry engineers because the growing need and problem. Like I mentioned, I've been doing layoff videos, so let's just take a little look at how many companies in the cybersecurity space are laying off. We have Lacework laid off in May, 20% of their staff. Subspace laid off in May as well. They laid off 100% of their staff. Going to June, we have Cybereason laid off 6% of staff. Deep Instinct, an AI cybersecurity company, they didn't say how many employees they laid off. ID.me laid off 3% of staff, which is still 40 people. That's still a lot of people. Finit State Cybersecurity, 20% of staff. IronNet Cybersecurity, 17% of staff. And Aura Cybersecurity, 10% of staff. Now, there were only 2 companies in July, Transmit Security for 7% of staff, and Arte Cybersecurity at unknown amount of staff laid off. But I think that is 14 companies in the cybersecurity space are laying off. What is happening? What is the problem? Well, if you look at the other problem in the cybersecurity space is that there's not just enough people that know the skill. Introducing cybersecurity as a job in a department in companies is a new thing, and a lot of companies moving forward are likely to consider opening their eyes to hiring cybersecurity engineers instead of using these third-party services or platforms like the ID.me. I suspect a lot of big companies, especially the FANGs, will just hire more cybersecurity engineers and build out their departments instead of working with these services. So if you are earlier in your career, you're saying, oh, it sounds like a good idea, right, to go into the cybersecurity space. Well, I would say you don't really hop out of college with experience in cybersecurity. Maybe if you're like a world-renowned hacker that everyone knows about, you hacked the government and took all the money, maybe then you have the experience. But most people that come out of college don't have enough experiences in cybersecurity to be called a cybersecurity engineer. And generally speaking, like I said, companies that offer that service are either cybersecurity companies or healthcare companies. So there just are not enough of the cybersecurity engineers. If that's something that you're interested in doing as a career moving forward, I would say, yeah, there is opportunity there, but you gotta kind of suck it up. It's going to be difficult to get your foot into the door. How do you get into the industry? Like I said, those particular companies is kind of your chance, and you gotta hope that you were on the right team that's close enough that would put you on cybersecurity. If I were early in my career, if I could talk to my younger self and I was thinking about cybersecurity in 2022, I would say, you know what? Get a software job. Just get a job as a developer or engineer. Let's just get an engineer job first, and let's not be particular if we want cybersecurity or data. You know, if someone asks in an interview, you can be aspirational and say, yeah, I want this and that. But don't limit yourself. A lot of people who get into these niche industries get there by chance and luck. Maybe they just got hired and it was the best job to take at an e-commerce company, and suddenly they have niche experience in the e-commerce company. So you kind of got to go with the flow. But would I start a cybersecurity startup in 2022? Hecka no. 14 companies laid off this year. Or are laying off this year, and these are startup specific companies. I know 14 is not a big number, especially compared to healthcare had like 12 companies laying off in July alone, but it is definitely something to consider. Why do I keep seeing cybersecurity companies laying off? Well, clearly things are changing in the industry. TechCrunch just came out with an article. Actually, I can't get past the paywall, and if you know how to get past the paywall, let me know in the comments below, because I tried to Google it and then I gave up because I'm not ready for that kind of problem. But they claim that funding is drying up in the cybersecurity space. Well, cybersecurity is linked to the tech industry in general, and funding is drying up for tech in general. Why? Well, actually, mortgage rates are going up, and that affects lending for startups. It's a lot more expensive to lend money now that if the mortgage industry rates are going up, that's signaling to the economy that the economy is not stable. So all other investors or investment companies are going to see that trend and respond. They are going to increase the rate for lending for their companies, and makes it more expensive to borrow in general. Maybe the movements that we've had of encouraging people to increase their cybersecurity using these password locks or updating their passwords more often, maybe that movement's actually working and cybersecurity is improving. That sounds crazy. I'm pretty sure now that we have the possibility of the metaverse, cybersecurity hacking could get a lot more dicey. If you've ever been cyber hacked, if you've had your identity stolen, please let me know in the comments below. If you are in the cybersecurity industry and you know more than me, let me know in the comments below. Is it a good industry to get into right now? I would suspect that people that are senior in cybersecurity have lots of job opportunities right now, but let me know, do you have a lot of job opportunities? Are there a lot of new cybersecurities coming and I am only focusing on 14 that are having problems? Please let me know if I'm wrong. No one has yet in the video, and I know I probably am, so please keep me in shape and in line and let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video and checking out my channel. Please subscribe. It helps a lot that other people like you can find my video, and I hope to see you in the next one.